Good morning, everybody. This is Shannon with Shannon Smith's Auto Appraisals. We're on episode 2 on how to be an estimator. And just to let you know who I am again, I'm Shannon Smith. I'm a local field auto appraiser here in Central Florida area. Been doing this for 23 years. If you're happen to be in this area, I do one-on-one training. Probably could do Saturday and Sundays. I do $250 for 2 hours of my time, and I'll definitely make an estimator out of you. But for those who are out of state or out of the area, these videos I hope will help you or your staff create, someone that is hardworking and deserves the shot to be an estimator. Auto damage estimating is it's actually a good career. It opens doors to everything as far as insurance or you know office management, banking, parts department, paint department. Maybe you want to be a painter. So get your foot in the door and actually gives you a career. Most of my trainees, I spend about 25 to 30 hours, and typically their first year they make over 50 grand, so and there's plenty of work out there. It's kind of a high stress job, but as long as you have a cool head, you should be okay. So the first episode, pretty much laid out what tools you need, including a clipboard. So now it's time to get your clipboard out, get a clean sheet of paper, and let's get to it. So first thing you want to do on how to be an estimator is you need to write these terms down and start getting familiar with these terms. I made this little list. You can kind of go into your AI technology, like I use Copilot, and you can just put like basic auto damage terms, and it'll generate you a decent list. So we're just going to kind of highlight some of these things. I don't want to bore you guys. So, you got your front bumper, that's your outer piece. So let me pull this up here for you. So basically the white painted portion, this is all ripped out. Should have a connecting piece right here. So that's your bumper cover. Back behind your bumper cover, you're going to have typically like a piece of styrofoam that runs right through here, but this one's pretty blown out. Your reinforcement bar, that's going to be, it's going to be looking kind of like this. This is the same vehicle. So this is your reinforcement bar. It's welded to your frame rails. Let's see, same thing for the rear bumper, blah, blah. Fender is, your left and right sides, going back to our other picture here. Let me see if I can find you a better picture, guys. All right, this is a better picture here. So let me, as you can tell, I'm not professional, but you're learning. I'm learning how to make videos, and we're all learning together. God dang it, where did that freaking picture go? Anywho, the fenders are on each side. Hood, everyone knows what a hood is. Roof, everyone knows what a roof is. Door shell, it's the actual whole door. Rocker panel is going to go below the doors. And the reason I'm not showing you everything right now is I want you to do some homework. I want you to look up these panels, and get familiar. So if I'm going too fast, just hit pause, write these terms down. Your lighting, headlights, taillights, fog lights, side marker lights, turn signal lights. I mean, there's another term called repeater lights. Those go in your fenders. Wire harnesses, sensors, and try to look up different sensors like parking sensors, blind spot radar, airbag sensors. We also call that SRS sensors, which is supplemental restraint system sensors. Just look up some general stuff. Do some homework. Uh, Structural components. Structure is basically what's behind everything. So as far as like your radiator support, I mean, you can see this radiator is kind of free floating in air. So the whole radiator support is plastic and it's blown out. Um, or the shop might have taken it out. Your cross members, pillars A, B, and C. So A is basically on the front of the car, which I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look that up. B pillars are typically like on sedans, they'll be kind of in the middle between the doors. C pillars are the back of a door opening on four-door cars. So if it's a two-door coupe, you're going to have an A and B pillar. If you're going to have a four-door car, you're going to have an A, B, and C pillar. Inner fender structure, apron, floor pan, front unibody structure as a whole. This will come in later when we're talking about basically front ends and buying LKQ front ends, which is a used front end. We'll talk more about that later on. I don't even know what episode, but it's going to be way down the road. Mechanical parts, I want you to look up these parts, get familiar. And when I say get familiar, like write them down on your clipboard, walk out to a car, point and test yourself. Like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And keep doing it. It's going to take repetition. Interior components, dashboard, airbags, seat belt, steering wheel. This is needed because if you have a driver's side airbag deployed, most of the time you're going to have to replace the steering wheel or the steering column. A lot of inspection it's going to be needed. Most of the time, if airbags deploy, you're probably dealing with a total loss, but we'll talk more about that in future. Some glass terms. Glass is technically structure, so don't let insurance tell you otherwise. Windshields are very important. They have the collision avoidance systems and cameras, and so that's pretty much a hot topic right now. Is like, do you use OE glass, which is original equipment, or do you use aftermarket glass? Aftermarket glass may not be cut right. I've seen aftermarket glass not calibrate those systems, and they got to pull the whole glass back out again. Rear window, just kind of pause and write these terms down. These are just fasteners, bolts, adhesive, sealants. Like, look up structural adhesive. That's a good topic. Sealants, you can actually look up structural foam, like F as in Frank, OAM as in Mary. Emblems, badges. Now this is going to be shop talk, so you definitely need to write these down. These terms are used all the time, and basically when you walk up on a car and you got your clipboard, you're going to kind of like probably talk to yourself. So let's say this is what you're looking at. Nothing's been torn down. This is a car of a whole. So on your clipboard, I'm just going to write straight up R&R front bumper, R&R front bumper absorber, R&R front bumper reinforcement bar, R&R grill. I'm going to hand write this on my clipboard. The reason I hand write it is in the shop world or even in the insurance world, things are happening really fast, so you may have a customer walk in, like this estimate right here that we're looking at. This is going to take you, being a rookie, this is going to take you 45 minutes to an hour to write this thing, just as it sits, if you do it right. Once it's torn down, it's going to take you probably 30 to 45 minutes to go over it with your technician. So you want to hand write it so you don't forget where you're at. You might find a little sensor that you don't know what it is, and you want to write that down. Sensor behind grill, part number, blah, blah, blah. If you can even read the part number. So need to start handwriting this stuff. So reconditioning, meaning let's say you got a wheel, that kind of got some minor curb rash. you could actually fix that wheel for like 180 to 150 bucks. We call it reconditioning the existing part. Only really wheels you'll recondition. Everything else is either repair or replace. Like kind of quality, that's going to mean like a used part. Insurance may want to put a used headlight in, talk to your customer, um, and let them know, like, hey, man, they're putting a used headlight in. You want a used headlight, or you want to pay the difference for a new headlight? It's up to you. It's not my car. Be upfront with your customer. Set up a measure is a very important term. That means we need to measure the frame. And as you can tell in this picture, this frame is pointing to the right. That's why I got right arrows. This frame is actually going to the right, and it's going down. If you actually look at it, it's kind of like it's looking kind of downward, where this one's kind of straight. So we call straight movement, we call that mash. Side to side, we call that sway. Up and down, we call that misalignment. Those terms ain't on my list, but we're going to talk more about that. But anytime you see front end hit like this, immediately set up and measure that frame. And we'll talk more about that in future. Um, floor setup. Floor setup means like you're not going to fully measure the frame, but you're going to need to strap the car down because we're going to need to pull it with chains and all kinds of mess, which that's going to be a later episode. Pull time using control points. So getting back, which this is a little advanced talk. So control points is like, where are you going to hook up your chains to pull this thing? Matter of fact, this car cannot be pulled. So this is kind of a bad example. We'll talk more about that. But let's say it can be pulled. You're going to pull it here from the reinforcement. You're going to maybe pull each of your frame rails. So you're going to be 1.5. Literally, you could do 1 or 1.5 per rail. And if it had a radiator support, you could probably do like a 1.5 pull in your radiator support. So what you see here, if it was able to be pulled, you could be upwards of 3 or 4 hours of pull time to get that thing back in specs. So I think this is pretty conclusive to this episode. It's going to be more you doing some homework finally. So if you bought your clipboard or if you didn't buy your clipboard, you need to buy your clipboard and you need to start practicing. If you email me, I can try to like email you my list. This is my email. This is my cell. Texting is best for me. Like I said, I'm in Central Florida. I'm an Orlando kind of based appraiser. If you have someone that you want to train, Saturdays and Sundays is best for me. $250 an hour. $250 for 2 hours. I feel like 2 hours of someone taking in a lot of information is enough. And also it's enough basically to pay me for my time too, and I can teach your estimator many things. If they're DRP, I can tell them what DRP pays for. If they're non-DRP, I can tell you how to do that and how to talk to customers, how to upsell, how to document your repair plans. I'm a wealth of knowledge, 20 plus years in the business, and I don't think a trainer out there is going to be like me. But I really appreciate y'all staying tuned for episode 2. I hope this helps somebody further their career or start a career. That's my whole goal, is to get more people into the auto collision business. Thank y'all, and y'all take care now.